For many years now, the people who had their personal information leaked during the massive Yahoo data breach that took place over the course of several years, they've been fighting to be made whole again. And the lawyers who have been fighting this against Yahoo have finally come to an agreement with the company. The company finally came up to a number that was acceptable for the victims here. And joining me now to talk about this settlement is Scott Hardy with Top Class Action. Scott, initially Yahoo wanted to pay $50 million, but a judge said, that ain't gonna cut it. So now Yahoo and the attorneys have come to an agreement. It went from $50 million to $117 million for these victims. That's a huge sum for the people who had their data breached here in this issue.
It sure is. It's a big win for consumers, I think. And especially if your identity was stolen and you suffered damages on that, you can get up to $25,000 from the settlement. You'll have to show the damages that were occurred, show documentation, but that's a big chunk of money. You know, along with all these data breaches, you know, we see that happening where these data breach settlements, if you suffered losses, you can send in the proof and get paid for that. Something that I think is very interesting about this settlement is that you can also get paid if you paid Yahoo as a subscriber. So if you were a subscriber to actually, if you were a subscriber that wanted to avoid their ads, you can get paid for that. If you were a business subscriber, you can claim up to $500 per year of service during the class period. And so, you know, if you used Yahoo Fantasy Sports, Yahoo Finance, Tumblr, Flickr between January 2012 and December 31st, 2016, you've got may very well have a bigger claim if you paid extra for any of those services. So you really do want to take a few minutes, read through this settlement to see what's out there for you. It's different than the average data breach settlement, which is submit your claim for free credit monitoring. If you were affected, submit your proof to get more extra cash on top of it. This one has some more incentives for different subscribers of Yahoo's services.
So what can people do? I mean, obviously some people who had their data leaked here, they understand it, they know what happened. Is there anywhere they can go to check and see if their data was compromised if they had one of these accounts?
Well, there are a lot of different websites out there now that will do a basic check to see whether you're on the dark web. You know, spoiler alert, if you shop on the internet and you've been shopping for the past few years, you're on the dark web right now. Your information's probably out there, but hopefully it's outdated information. And so there, you know, you can go through and sign up for the free credit monitoring through this service. They will ask for proof. So if you say, I don't want free credit monitoring from you guys, what I want is I want you guys to pay me some cash up front, then they may very well ask for documentation showing that you already have credit monitoring because you're pushing that very, very hard. But, you know, this is overall, I'd say, a good settlement for consumers.
And I think what's important here that people also kind of need to take into account is some of the information that was leaked, obviously, you know, email addresses, phone numbers, date of birth, but security passwords. So basically your password for your account. And for a lot of people, they use the same password over and over again. You know, this is my password for Yahoo. It's also my password for my bank account and my Netflix account and every other account I have. Stop doing that. I mean, I hate to say it like that, and I know it's frustrating, but people, please do not use the same password over multiple different websites, because then not only is your data at risk for that one site, you're spreading the risk across all of your accounts. You have to keep separate passwords. You have to keep these accounts different in as many ways as possible. Do not use the same security questions, for each website, because all it takes is one breach like this, and they can use this information to find out where your bank is, who your bank is, where your credit cards are, and then they've got that password too, and that's going to lead to even more problems than just the initial data breach.
Right, exactly. You know, hackers have used this information to hack into people's iCloud accounts and view all of their pictures on the, in the cloud, and then hold people for ransom. literally saying, hey, you've got some questionable pictures on your phone. Now you can either pay us or we're going to post them publicly. Or we just locked your entire iCloud account. You can pay us or we're going to delete everything you've got. And so just like you said, please change your password, use different passwords on iCloud, on Google, on Facebook. That's great advice that you're giving, because that will save users a lot of headaches when these things happen in the future. Because as you and I know, we discuss data breaches on a regular basis. There will be more.
The other side of that too is that if you don't use different passwords, you have to go back and change all of them when something like this happens. I actually, my Netflix password a couple months ago got leaked out there, and you know, it's unfortunate that somebody got to watch a couple movies for free before I changed it, but it also wasn't that big of a deal because I use a separate company, privacy.com, actually, to mask my bank information, so they couldn't get that, and they can't use that password on any other account that I have. So it really, I'm telling you folks, it really does save you in these particular situations. So Scott, so people who are eligible for this class, this Yahoo settlement, this 117 million, where do they go from here? Where do they go and sign up for this?
They can go to topclassactions.com. They can read the details of the settlement. They can actually click through to submit their claims. We have all the information right there on what the different levels are you can claim, how much you might be eligible for, and how to take care of it.
Fantastic. We have a link to that page on Top Class Actions in the description of this video. Follow that, sign up, only takes a few minutes, and given the size of the settlement, it is well worth it. Scott Hardy with Top Class Actions, thank you very much for talking with us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for your time, Farron.
The Monsanto Corporation continues to sell an herbicide called Roundup. If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup and then developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you might be entitled to financial compensation, and you have a right to take action now.